going on, guys? I'm Joe, and I'm back to continue my series of Harry Potter reviews. I've already covered Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. Now let's talk about my favorite in the franchise, next to Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This movie came out in 2004, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. I don't know. I'm gonna go with that. Taking over Chris Columbus' spot, and let's say he brings a hugely needed breath of fresh air for this franchise. It feels bigger, there's a whole lot of stuff that's added into this franchise, and it's considerably darker than the previous two movies were. While it has that mystery plot, it also adds another layer to Harry's past. And like with the last two movies, there will be spoilers, so ye be warned. Harry's about to enter his third year of Hogwarts. He's 13 years old, he's getting older, getting closer to adulthood. He decides that he is done taking crap from his guardians, and from anybody else who gives him crap, like Malfoy or anybody else. Particularly his Aunt Marge, played by Pam Ferris, who actually turns out to be the Trunchbull from Matilda. That's really weird. And she really lays it on thick to Harry. Like, insulting his mother. If there's something wrong with the bitch, there's something wrong with the pup.
Shut up! Shut up!
And therefore, he blows her up into a giant balloon. And then he leaves. And this is one of those cases where as the movie goes on, it gets considerably better, and the sequence on the night bus is absolutely fun as heck. Welcome to the night bus, the emergency transport for a stranded witch or wizard. My name is Stan Shumpoy, and I will be your conductor for this evening. But it's not just the night bus sequence. When you also get to the leaky cauldron that Harry's staying at before he has to head off to school, there's another thing that's added to the wizarding world. This housekeeper who knocks on the door, opens it, and whatever the heck is inside that room is just screaming in fury, and she's like, yeah, not today. Then there's the boggart, or the mirror that Professor Lupin uses in his dark arts class, and the hippogriff, and amongst other things that I'm probably going to lose track of if I try to think about it. And as the franchise goes on, it continuously shows you a different side to this universe every single time. Just like Star Wars, it shows you different creatures in different locations. And of course, you got new characters in here as well, like Professor Lupin, Professor Trelawney, who is quite the oddball, to say the least. She's played by Emma Thompson. Very well, I must say. And Sirius Black is another new character. We'll get to him later. And you got a new actor in here as well, playing Dumbledore, Michael Gambon, and Richard Harris, who played Dumbledore in the previous two movies, sadly passed away in between 2 and 3. I remember hearing about that at the time, and it was pretty sad to hear, but I have to say, I really like Michael Gambon as Dumbledore. And in regards to this movie being more darker than the previous two movies, it also has a surprising amount of suspense in this movie. Earlier, before the night bus comes in, Harry starts to see this dog coming out of the bushes, a black dog, and it starts to bark at him. You're wondering, what the heck is that thing? And then, later on the train, these ghoulish-looking creatures called Dementors, who are the prison guards in Azkaban, and are searching for Sirius Black. And this gives Harry a bit of a problem. They attack him at least 2 or 3 times in the whole movie. One of them's a boggart, but still, they're giving him trouble. And they feed on the bad parts of people's past, like sucking out their soul and everything, taking all the joy out of the world around them. Everything gets cold, everything turns to ice. Talk about depressing, man. And since I mentioned Sirius Black, played by Gary Oldman, is a prisoner who escapes from Azkaban, and from what I understand, he was the first prisoner to do it. He is believed to be a big supporter of Lord Voldemort back in the day, when Harry survived Voldemort's attack. And he's later revealed to be Harry Potter's godfather, the person who betrayed Harry's parents. And it's also believed Harry is possibly the only one that's standing in Sirius Black's way of Voldemort returning to power. Another character we have in here, Professor R.J. Lupin, played by David Thewlis, probably the best candidate for Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, had it not been for his condition as a werewolf, which he's later revealed to be towards the climax of the movie. He teaches his students in the one scene to force the boggart to take a shape of something that they find amusing, and it's the thing that they're most afraid of. Leads into the whole overall message of this movie that when Harry encounters the Dementors, he's taught to use a very powerful and positive memory, since Dementors feed on very negative vibes. Lupin teaches Harry how to use a positive vibe against a Dementor, and I like that because the world tends to be very dark and cynical. Use positivity against it in the right way, it crumbles, and good triumphs over evil. At least, it should. Anyway, And there's other things that are added, like the village of Hogsmeade and the Shrieking Shack and the Marauders map, which shows to anybody who's looking at it, everybody inside Hogwarts, everyone, where they are, what they're doing of every minute of every day. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. And it also leads to a very, very intense and suspenseful scene where Harry discovers that he possibly is going to run into the man that is believed to have been dead, who used to be a friend of Harry's parents, Peter Pettigrew. If anyone has seen the movie by now, he turns out to be Ron's rat, Scabbers. And watching this movie recently, listening closely to the sounds in that scene, you could tell it's a rat. In the years since I saw this movie, I noticed that on rewatches, but the first time it was like, what's going on here? And it also contains a really funny exchange between Harry and Snape, who is still hilarious, as always, even if he's only in a couple of scenes. And this movie has probably my favorite line by Snape.
Turn to page 394.
Then I suggest you take extra care, Mr. Potter. Loss of limb will not excuse you. And the humor in this movie is still very well done, especially with Ron, with the spiders tap dancing dream that he has or whatever. You tell those spiders, Ron. And that's another thing that's added in this movie with the whole wizarding world. Harry and his friends on the first night back at school, they try out this candy, which causes them to make these animal noises. Neville takes one and he makes an elephant sound. Ron takes one and he makes a lion sound or something. But Harry takes one and it turns into a giant whistle. And you also get to see Hagrid teach in this movie, teaching them about a hippogriff, who is really, really awesome. And a little bit scary for the kids who see this for the first time. And it has a great sequence in where Harry gets to fly on this thing, right above the water outside of the school, with his arms out like this. And I think I said this on Facebook or Twitter or maybe Instagram, I don't know, but imagine if he said, "I'm the king of the world!" Sorry, can't help myself. Can I just say that it was nice to see Draco Malfoy finally getting what he deserves, getting clawed in the arm by Buckbeak, thrown around by Harry with his invisibility cloak on in the snow, and Hermione punching him right in the face. And something I noticed watching this again, when Buckbeak smacks him in the arm, he's going, "Oh, he's killed me! He's killed me!" And when Hermione puts her wand right to his throat, he is whimpering like a baby. "You're gonna regret this. You and your bloody chicken." But of course, Buckbeak attacking Malfoy leads to Buckbeak being sentenced to death, sadly. And amidst all that, the black dog, known as an animagus, or the Grim, as it was hinted at in Professor Trelawney's class, goes after Ron, who's finally managed to chase down Scabbers, who's gone missing for a while, and then blamed Hermione, which, let's talk about that real quick. They're arguing quite a lot in this one. There's some kind of a romantic thing going on between the two. But back to the black dog, chases after Ron, who's finally found his rat, pulls him into the hole underneath the Whomping Willow. Harry and Hermione go after him, and they end up in the Shrieking Shack, and they turn around and they see that the dog has turned into a human, Sirius Black. Harry's about ready to go for the kill. Lupin shows up. Snape shows up. But Harry knocks out Snape after he learns that Sirius Black is innocent. They discuss it a little bit and turns out that Peter Pettigrew was the one who betrayed Harry's parents. And it's revealed that he was Ron's rat the entire time for the last 12 years. And I also like that even though Harry's given the opportunity to let Sirius and Lupin kill Peter, he decides, no, we're going to turn him in to the authorities. They will decide what to do. That's why I love you, Harry. You're a good person on the inside. And one more thing, I love how Gary Oldman delivers this line, "I did my waiting! 12 years of it! In Azkaban!" And once you see Sirius Black is really innocent, he's someone who wants to help Harry, and he even offers Harry to come live with him. Probably the best option you could go with, Harry. Then Lupin turns into a werewolf when the full moon comes out. Peter Pettigrew escapes. Sirius turns into the dog, tries to fight off Lupin's wolf form. Then they end up nearby the pond. Harry tries to help him out. The Dementors come in, and somebody from across the lake fires a Patronus charm at all the Dementors, saving Harry and Sirius. Harry wakes up in the hospital wing, and Hermione puts this thing around her in his neck, and it takes him a day back in time. And I absolutely love this sequence. It is so awesome. Because if you remember earlier on, there's these little things that happen where you go, what was that? Or like, what was that about? How did that thing get in there? Or who was howling from the woods over there? And when you see certain things play out the way they do, you go, oh my god, that's it. And especially when Hermione goes, oh, I remember going, that was you? Watching it recently, it reminded me of like Looper or Back to the Future Part 2 in some ways, where you see things from a different angle or a different perspective. And when you see things play out later on, you see, okay, now it all adds up. And when they finally get to the lake to try to help Sirius, Harry at first believes that it was his father that saved them from the lake with the Patronus. But then, it turns out, no, it wasn't his father. It was Harry who did it. He used the Patronus on the Dementors. And I have to say, every time Harry says this,
Expecto Patronum!
I want to pump my fist in the air and go, yeah! So they save Sirius, he escapes with Buckbeak, but unfortunately he has to leave Harry behind due to his status as a fugitive. Lupin resigns, but tells Harry that, I have a feeling we're going to meet again one day. Even if the whole world doesn't know yet with the truth about Sirius, they will in the long run. And you're the one who helped uncover it. And Harry ends up getting the Firebolt from, I'm assuming it's Sirius Black. And yeah, I have to say, I love The Prisoner of Azkaban. It's definitely my favorite in the franchise by far. If I were to grade it, I'd probably go with an A. If there's any problems I have with it, just like with pretty much all of these movies, it's a little too long. And the pacing can drag maybe just a little too much. That's all. Thank you guys for watching my review of Prisoner of Azkaban. I had a lot of fun talking about this. What are your thoughts on Prisoner of Azkaban? Is it your favorite? Is it not your favorite? Do you like it, hate it, love it? Whatever your thoughts are, comment below and tell me. And stay tuned for my review of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And I will see you guys next time.